Hello everyone and welcome to Gore. This is Palworld and a couple of tips just to help you get set up in the game. First thing you want to do when you spawn in is speak to the Expedition Survivor whilst he's chatting away. He will give you, I think it's 10 wood and some other items that I can't remember off the top of my head, or it might just be the wood. But it's a nice little starting point. Also you have the fast travel point, it's worth unlocking just when you move around the island. Now a common mistake a lot of people make, and I will call it a mistake, is they set up the base here, and the reason this is a mistake, there's a lot of items you can't get rid of. So although you can make the base look pretty cool here, when you're trying to expand the base and build certain items, you haven't got enough room in the area. This being said, you do have some useful things to pick up from here, such as the berries. You've got trees you can harvest from, and you also have a couple of lambs which you can collect, and also sheep, and sometimes lambs, chickens, and sometimes the cats as well, all to harvest from. Near the start of the game I would recommend getting one of each of them. The cat is the most useful, but if you've only got the one sphere and you see the cat, get the cat. Sometimes the cat spawns to the left, but it's worth catching them all. As the game progresses, make sure you catch up to 10 of them because you get bonus experience on your first 10 catches, so it's worth doing. After this, you've heard me note creating the base. You don't want to create it there, but what you do want to do is just a little bit further down the hill, not too far on. I would recommend building your base somewhere around here. Now the reason for this is you've got a much more open area. I've set up my base and it's just about capturing the walls. It's quite central to this spot. But you have trees, which if you've got the right pals will harvest anyway. You have ore, which is very useful later on in game, but it's worth having just for now. You have stones as well, and again, as long as your pals have got the mining or lumberjack ability, they will be harvesting this. The cat starts with the mining one, and it starts off with the most. It's probably the most useful early game. I've got all three of these currently at my base, and if you do look over the stats, you'll see here, so they've all got all but the chicken have the handling, all but the chicken have the gathering ability, all but the cat have the farming ability, and then they all have all but the sheep actually, sorry, have the plant ability. I don't think, no, it's not planting, I think that's, yes, the seeds is the planting, so that's I think it's gathering food maybe. I'm still familiarising myself with the symbols a little bit. Moving on, once you've got a little bit of a foundation, so I'm now up to the point where I can have 4 pals and I've built pretty much everything I can do. My base requires me to capture more pals, so I'm going to go out and capture some more now. What I'm looking out for, most don't spawn in the starter island like down to this section, but they'll actually spawn. There's a small little water crossing, more or less with my marker mouse at the moment, and we'll collect them there, but I'll show you that in a second. So just before we go travelling, you do want to get either a penguin or a tifa, which do sometimes spawn here. More likely to get a pengulet in this area though, so you do want to capture one, because when it comes to not the farming, but when you can do your berry plantation, you will need an animal that can water it, so having a pengulet allows us to be watered. When you're out collecting pals, make sure you do avoid stuff that's a much higher level than you, because you will struggle to, 1, capture it, and 2, it'll probably kill you relatively fast. There's not too many in the starting area. There's mainly the mammoth, deers, and depending on how early on you are, the foxes to watch out for. There's a couple of birds, but you need to shoot them to agitate them. Although not so relevant to your base, it's worth capturing fox parts quite early on. These just help you in combat a little bit, and it's quite a good early pal for combat around the area. So if you can capture one without getting killed, it's worth grabbing when you can do. These may attack in packs though, as you've just seen that one from a distance away has just tried hitting me. Right, now for the bit that I was on about, you do need some stamina here because you're going to need to swim and then climb. It's faster to go this way than it is to run up and round, but this is going to get some nice little pals which are quite useful throughout the game. If you see any Liftmonk energy, I think it is, Liftmonk effigy even, worth collecting because you can either increase your capturing ability with it, or you can increase stats for your pals. Once you've swam across the water there, climb up here. We are going to capture a Liftmonk up here, and we're also going to capture like a small monkey thing, which I think is called a Chip Z, but I can't quite recall. Make sure you've got the energy, and if you've seen chests about, make sure you're grabbing them as well. So once you're up the top of the hill, we've already seen both what we need. So we've got a Liftmonk down there, and we've got some Chipsies. Sorry, Tansy, not Chipsy. I'm thinking chimpanzee, I think, but we was close enough with a guess from memory. And we do want to capture these. Again, these are going to be great for your base, and I'll show you why in a second. Won't be able to show it just now because we're too far away from the base and I've got a max inventory. So we've got Tansy there, we're after the Liftmonk there. I would normally be catching multiple, but for the sake of the video I can come back and get some more later on. Right, I'm glad he's got stuck, so I'm not having to chase around the entire map. And up here is also your first kind of water boss. It's a level 11 boss, although when you are coming to do it, I would be prepared. It does more damage than you think it might do. Come on. Just wasted a ball there, but it's fine. We've got enough to capture for the video. There we go. Now we've got one of everything we want. I'm going to head back to base and I'll see you there. Something I did forget to mention, and we're getting quite late on in this same day now, but we're on our way back to the base. This is probably the first you come across in this game, but you basically get skill trees, and I don't know how else to describe it. It's a tree that's got skills attached to it. And Liftmonk here. You can also jump this gap if you have a parachute. So where this tree is just here on the map. If you're trying to jump this gap, I think you can do it without a parachute, but just to be safe, I'd use one. Otherwise, you have a fair bit of a drop to go down. It's easier going that way than it is coming back. So I've gone back to the base and just upgraded it to level 5 just by deploying a PAL. That's all I had left to do on mine, but you can already see the PALs are about and making effective work. So we have the Pengulet watering as we kind of wanted it to. That's kind of why we got it. Both the Tansy and the Liftmonk can do the planting for the berry plantation. These both also have the lumbering ability, so they're both logging away at the tree. Sheep is transporting. Sheep can also harvest wool from here. And the cat, when there's stuff about, can mine the stone. I'm pretty sure it can also mine the ore, but I've not seen it do that yet. So I'm not too sure why it's not doing that, because I'm fairly certain it can do. However, if we just go in, we can see I put the fox on for combat, I put a cativer on for combat as well. And then just going through the pals, if you go into them, you can actually see what the icons stand for. So pretty much all of them have the transporting skill, if not all of them. But the cativer has handiwork, gathering and mining. Most of them have gathering as well, which is quite useful. And most have handiwork as well. So let's just go into the special abilities. Watering, again, you need this for the plantation, you'll need it for the mill, and for the crusher. Cooling comes into the game later on. For the Lambo we have the farming, which again is for the wool. For the Tanti we have planting, lumbering and sorry, it's the other one that's got the medicine. So we've got planting and lumbering, but you can already see him lumbering away there. And the Lift Monk also has lumbering, but it has the medicine production, so it can help you produce medicines at the crafting table when you unlock that later in the game. So it's a handy little setup for a level 5 base, and probably what you want in relation to your pals. Again, a little setup for early on in the game. I do hope that this helps, and do please enjoy, like, comment and subscribe. So I should note that as I was exploring, I did think that down here may have been a slightly better location, but it is on quite a hill, and I believe that causes issues again with building. So for the starting area, I believe this is the best spot, as in the starting area between first fast travel and second. After this, your next best opening that's nice, flat and open, is where my marker is, just there, which is a handy little spot to use, and probably where you want to set up your second base, just because you've got a nice open space if you're struggling for room or how to manage your base here. And then throughout the game, when you're doing other bases, you can set them up for like mining farms or lumbering farms, just depending on what spawns in that area.